Hello everyone and welcome to Chat19, a podcasty style thingamajig featuring the players you love from Nat19. Here we'll be delving into some of your most burning questions you submitted using the questionnaire form in this video's description, as well as on our Twitch page. I am your host Chase, also known as Coffin Jockey, and I am joined today by some lovely people. How about you guys introduce yourselves as well as a little bit of info about your character, starting with Cody.
Oh, hello! I didn't see you there. My name is Cody, otherwise known as Summoner Blue, otherwise known as Quintus Valorbuilt. And I'm the one that does the dumb things. That is my purpose in the group.
You're more than just comic relief, Quintus.
You're the heart of this team.
But also the dumb thing. I'm kidding.
No.
He is pure of heart and dumb of ass.
Hey now, that's Retia's ass.
That really is Retia's ass.
And in addition to Retia's ass, we also have Izzy.
Hello, I am Izzy, also known as Yamato SFX on YouTube from the Something Witty Entertainment, where we do like the sword arts and the mahas and whatnot. But on Nat19, I play the Warforged Artificer Flux, who is like a big old robot man who doesn't understand his feelings and likes to build things for his friends and was unearthed from an ancient tomb in days of yore.
And is the actual heart of the group, if the heart was like covered in metal and wood and was like a gem or something.
And may possibly be a strawberry. We cannot be sure.
Something like that, yes.
An actual heart of a group is cold and metallic, completely incapable of feeling.
We're trying to help him with that. We're trying to help him get used to the feelings.
He's trying real hard to figure them out. Like, he's got the feelings, but it's like he has only read about them in theory and doesn't know how they're supposed to feel. He's confused.
Feel?
Like when I look at this dragon man, I feel this, what do you call it? Indescribable, inescapable urge to kill. Is that?
Oh yes, that is one of the feelings.
Yes, urge to kill. That's a feeling. Okay, I'll write that one down. Urge to kill. And is that an acceptable thing? Is that normal when I just look at a person? I mean, he did kill my master, so like that's.
In this case, yes.
That's an adequate response, right?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, cool. Murder is cool.
Luckily, we redacted. Don't have to redact it, and redacted with that redacted.
This is why teaching Flux is a group effort and is not left solely to any one individual.
I'm learning bad lessons!
Hooray!
Just fucking walk up to, like, Avi and just go, Quinn told me murder's okay.
Is there anyone you would like dead?
She's already gonna kick my ass, it doesn't matter.
It's gonna happen one of these days.
That would be an interesting general question to have everyone roleplay out, is like, I was just told murder's okay sometimes. Who do you want me to kill? And just like, there's a scale as to how the entire party reacts when Flux says that.
Vogan.
Fenris, she's like, Flux, no, you can't kill people. That would be wrong. Vogan produces scroll of names.
Vogan walks up. You can't not kill people. That would be wrong.
Sometimes bitches need killing.
Wonderful. Well, with that, we're going to get into some of the questions that we received from the viewers of Nat19 and Chat19.
Is that what we do?
Sometimes.
Sorry, this is the first one, so...
Yeah, every time is the first time on Chat19. Yeah. And with that, the very first question that has ever been asked. Dear Quintus, once you finish reading your book of morsels, what is the next book you might want to read? Or is there anything else you might want to research?
Do I have to read something else after my book of morsels?
I suppose it's not required.
If we find another book of muscles, then maybe that one.
Perhaps yet additional muscle books.
Like if there's like a muscle but for your brain, or like a muscle but for your ability to take hits, or like a muscle but for your speech. One of those books probably. Other than that, probably wanted posters and pamphlets.
being very short reads. Very
Only if they have pictures. I don't know, like Quinn isn't much of a he's not much of a reader, so like I would say that he probably would not have a ton to do things with. However, as far as research is concerned, he is going to potentially take over his family one day, so probably any sort of family records and any sort of like, land deeds and things of that nature to like get better research of his family, but that'd be about it. I don't see him going out and reading for pleasure, unfortunately. He is a jock through and through, you see.
You think he'd enjoy having someone read him like a classic adventure novel?
Exactly. That's why he has Flux and Kitty. I'm kidding. No.
Flux would be an upsetting narrator for that sort of thing. And he swung from the chandelier with great vigor, and he said, "Ha ha!" And he stabbed them.
You just see Quinn laying in like little lion pajamas, and he's just like, "Read it again, Flux."
Yes, sir, Master Quintus.
I'm just also imagining it's like a choose your own adventure book, and Quinn's actually dictating what he would do, so Flux is trying to translate that to the closest option that's actually on the page.
I love it.
Oh, it's a very good time.
Yeah, unfortunately not much of anything.
Understandable. Next question is for Flux.
Ooh.
Dear Flux, how does it feel to have a dead god inside you? What are you going to do with your newly acquired unlimited spell works?
Oh my god.
Boy, howdy, does he have a lot of thoughts and confusing feelings about that.
Whenever I heard the name, I think both me and I'm pretty sure both me and Spencer fucking went on mute immediately.
What? I'm pretty sure I heard Vogan, but really Spencer, chuckle when Flux told them the name, and it was bugging the crap out of me. It's like, I know that name. Why do I recognize that name? And then I looked it up after the game was over. Oh my god!
The literal magic.
So for anyone that hasn't been watching Nat19, could you go over a brief summary of events?
Go ahead,
so basically, we came into this ancient chamber where there was it was a crystal orb with a woman inside, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the group was taking turns touching it, and whenever we touched it, it would make us do an intelligence save. So there were various reactions. I think Miriam did the best at first. He had a couple strange visions. Meanwhile, Quintus touched it and was ejected out of the room like a rocket.
It was great. He tried again twice more to come in, and he was ejected twice more.
Just fucking from deep within the fucking crystal, no jocks.
There was one time where it's he was bringing Flux, but he's like, "Hey guys, I got Flux!"
So Flux went in, tried to touch it, and I assume he passed the save. I think Logan made me do it in secret.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was blessed by the goddess Mystra.
Mm-hmm.
And gained a couple of super special peachy keen abilities. Once a week, he can set forth a gout of silver flame that does 2d8 damage times his current level.
Oh.
In fire damage that ignores fire resistance and can also burn away anti-magic fields.
And
then
what level is Flux?
he's currently level 9.
Ew.
So that's fun.
You know, just like 18 D8 of fire damage. It's
It's no
whatever.
big deal.
Mechanically, I'm somewhat curious about that. Is that you roll a number of 2d8 times your level, or is that you roll 2d8 and multiply the result by 9?
It's 2d8 times the level, so I'm pretty sure he rolls 18 D8.
Yeah.
Okay, that's terrifying. Continue.
Right? And then other special...
Actually, another question before you get to the big main course there. How big is the area that target?
I think, if I remember correctly, it's either a 30-foot long, 10-foot wide line, or a 15-foot cone.
So not single target. Good.
No,
it
is not.
Definitely not.
The enemies are lucky that he is not an evocation wizard. Is all we have to see there.
Actually, good thing about this ability, it only affects people I choose.
Oh no!
So you are an evocation wizard. Got it.
The thing with that, evocation wizards get to choose who succeeds in the area of effect, but they're still targeted. So he's more powerful than an evocation wizard.
And then there's the other thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's not even the gross thing.
That's not even the big thing.
There's one other gross thing. When you roll a d8, the average number rolled for determining like statistical averages of damage is 4.5. So 2d8 each is 4.5 plus 4.5 for 9, and then you multiply that by 9. The average damage this ability deals in a like fucking cube is 81 damage on average on a failed save.
Yup.
So go ahead and tell me the big thing you can do.
So yeah, the other thing that he can do, the super fun thing once a week, he can cast any spell he has ever seen someone else cast. Without any components. So it can't be counterspelled. And he's seen someone cast Wish.
Oh no.
So that's a thing.
So now let me get this right. When you got this ability, were you perhaps holding Logan at gunpoint?
Not at all.
Not for this one. No.
IRL with a weapon trained on Logan threatening his safety when he granted you the ability to cast Wish without any material resources in a way that it couldn't possibly be counterspelled at a frequency that's alarmingly fast.
You would really think a threat was involved, huh?
Yeah.
But no, he was just super cool and nice and probably just, I guess, trusting that I won't thoroughly abuse it.
I suppose that is his prerogative.
Because Flux is a good boy. He's not the type to immediately go mad with power. Like, this, I guess to get back to the original question, I apologize. Yeah, he is, like, basically only maybe in the last week started to even kind of consider himself a person with agency and like a right to their own thoughts. Like his default train of thought is like, I am a tool, I am a servant, I am here to be used by the people around me. Like no matter who I am around, I am at the bottom of the pecking order and I find it comfortable there. He finds free will a little bit alarming, so he's slowly grappling with that. So now that a god has blessed him with that kind of power, he's like, he's got some stuff to think about. He certainly doesn't feel like he has a right to choose what to do with it. Like he came to the realization that it's potentially possible he could wish his dead master back to life, whose soul was obliterated by one of our big bads. But even then, he's like, all right, I'm going to put this to the group. Is that a good idea? Like, pros, cons? Because, like, I feel like that's real selfish.
That is a whole thing. I'll say that. That's
Yeah.
absolutely a whole thing.
So he's got some stuff to consider.
Mm-hmm.
He also wanted to talk to Fenris. It's like, I don't have a lot of opinion, or don't have a lot of experience with religion. Like, I am being inhabited by, like, a god who can, like, see through me now. Like, should I worship her? Would that make her happy? Would that be, like, an adequate thanks for all of this power she has bestowed upon me? I feel like I should worship her.
I suppose you would be allowed to do so in theory.
Yeah, this...
So I don't know if that would really change a lot. Like, I feel like she's already given you the biggest part of that deal.
Oh yeah, he's not expecting anything in return. It's more like, this god has given me more than I could ever possibly deserve, and now I need to do everything I can to thank her, essentially.
Fair. It's not lost on me that it took divine intervention to get Flux to value himself in any conceivable way.
Yeah, he thinks it's very weird that he would be chosen for this. It's like, I don't make decisions. I don't do things like.
Flux, you have to value your life now. If not for yourself, if for the person that's doing the cab fare inside your body.
Oh heck, that's a decent point, Master Quintus.
That's like a single step away from, I order you to value yourself.
I mean,
oh my god! I could Flux! No.
They've basically done that, and it's still like, I don't know, I'll think about it, I guess. You're probably wrong, though.
Fair. I have another question here for Quintus.
Oh.
Dear Quintus, now that you've told Miriam about the big mouse, how does it feel to finally tell someone about said big mouse? Are you relieved that you finally told someone? Are you nervous that Lexi might find out? Or is it a little bit of both? Additionally, what are your plans on how to win over this big mouse? Does this plan involve strawberries in any way, shape, or form?
Can I go ahead and guess whether or not this is somebody we know putting the... I'm kidding.
That comes later. How'd you know about that game? It's the first time we've ever played it.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I think we're all just lucky that the house burned down, because obviously that burned down the big mouse. As we learned, Quintus is very afraid of big mouse. So, Chase, talking to you for a second, because I'm not sure how much you know about big mouse. There was a part where Lexi and Quintus had a conversation. You might have heard about it from the last Chat19 that never happened before this one. But there was a bit of a conversation about feelings and whatnot. There was a situation where we were all probably about to die, and Kitty's like, "Hey, dude, we're probably about to die. Tell me what happened." And to be fair, Quinn knew for a fact that he would tell Miriam about this. Like, that's why he was avoiding Miriam, because he's like, "There's no way that I can avoid not telling him." And I think he's fine with it. I think he's fine telling about that, because I mean, here's the thing: him and Lexi, like, neither of them really put up a thing saying, like, they weren't going to tell anybody. And Lexi's already told like 2 people, so there's that. Other than that, though, it is definitely a thing. I think my goal and Quintus's goals are so different when it comes to this. Because Quintus's goal is obviously he wants to see how Lexi feels about him, and he wants to kind of see how far this big mouse can go, you know. And I know that Carrie likes Quintus, and I want to see her turn him down because it's funny. I want to make Carrie turn him down because I think it'd be funny. So those are the two different things that are going on right now.
Entirely fair.
But yeah, the plan does not involve strawberries. That'd be too easy.
Of course.
I have to think of some other thing like string or sticks.
Yes, good. Good. If there were strawberries, then the plan couldn't possibly fail, so it's
exactly.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
That is, as it's called, low-hanging fruit.
Strawberries are berries, not fruit. Anyway.
Got him! Listen, when I was in elementary school, they showed me an entirely accurate way to depict diet called the food pyramid that has absolutely stood up to scrutiny over the years.
Yeah. What else did they tell you? Did they tell you about Christopher Columbus too? Anyway, so...
Anyway, let's not talk about education.
Education sucks. That's why I don't read books.
Exactly. Unless they're muscle books. Next question is for both of you. Dear Quinn and Flux. So beach episode after this is all over in Summergrass, right?
Are we even near a beach?
Yeah, I think we're like
Summergrass. I'm sure it's close to a beach.
We're like days, even weeks of travel from like the nearest beach, I think.
Dude, if Logan came to us and said that we're gonna do another beach campaign, I would say yes.
Of course.
I would probably also scream because I would be able to play Quintus in a volleyball like campaign. It'd be so fun.
It'd be so good.
Action search! I'm kidding.
I saw 3 volleyballs at once.
It's like, question in terms of the rules. Does my turret count as another player?
Because he's not here to say anything to us, I'm gonna say yes.
I put a drone on the volleyball and it can fly now. Is that okay in the rules?
Is that cool?
I feel like everyone else just hasn't optimized the game enough.
Can I use my turret to send a cone of fire at our enemies while we're doing the surf?
The perfect plan.
You silver flame burst.
Oh no!
Oh no!
They cannot score points if the other team is dead. This is called optimizing, correct?
This is called a big gamer move, you see.
Galaxy brain flux.
They call this a pro strat. Next question is for Flux. Dear Flux, what's the most mundane thing you would possibly use Wish for? Perhaps to instigate a beach episode? Perhaps to make turrets and drones legal in said volleyball game on said beach episode?
The most mundane possible thing. Okay. So assuming
I wish all
this
my
is...
drones had a fly speed. I'm kidding.
We'll assume this is sometime in the future when he feels comfortable making that kind of choice on his own. The most mundane thing, probably to just he might wish to have like a ready source of like every kind of engineering like parts he could possibly need at a moment's notice.
That's fair.
Just like
I wish
like,
I
the
had
perfect workshop.
I wish I had Mordenkainen's magnificent garage.
I wish to design this spell. It's not a mansion, it's just a really decked out garage.
That
would probably be the most mundane thing.
You create an extra dimensional garage that is always cluttered no matter what you do. and has a car in it against your wishes.
Yeah. Like the car can't be driven out of the garage. There's no like entrance for it.
You like open the garage door and it's just like ephemeral space stuff on the other side of the garage door.
It has a car in it. It belongs to your uncle. He has the keys.
That's part of the spell, is if you push the car out of the demiplane you've created, your planner uncle will be mad at you and kick you out.
It's like, it's really annoying. He's got the keys, but like I can see like my baseball glove is in the back seat, and like I don't want to break his window because I don't be more mad. Like, it's a whole thing.
All right, I just gotta strategically throw the baseball through the window in a way that the glove catches it, and then I can just say that the glove is really good. Oh, what a time. Next question. Yes, let me see here. This one is for Quintus. Dear Quintus, you refuse to draw from the deck. How would Quintus's story have been affected if he'd drawn the Ruin card like Flux? How do you imagine the world would change if Quinn ceased to be a noble and the hammer of Constantinian Winter ceased to be his inheritance?
To one of those, that doesn't belong to him anymore anyway. He gave that over to Fenris, so technically, I don't think anything would happen there. I think the worst of it, because the big thing is Quintus hasn't inherited anything yet. I think the worst of it would be he would be stripped of his nobility. Maybe the thing would cause his uncle not to know who he is, and like, you know, all kinds of stuff like that maybe. And that would be pretty bad for Quinn. Quinn that would be honestly the worst thing ever for Quinn, because he's just like, oh fuck, I'm not a Valorbilt anymore. But honestly, like, as far as like a gameplay thing is concerned, it wouldn't really affect him too much. I don't think, at least. Like, he did just get all that money from the tournament, but that'd be about it. It would be really cool to see what would happen though, because again, just the idea, because Quinn's entire character was built to go to complete a goal and to return home. And if that goal was stripped from him, like if that ended up not being a thing at all, like what even would he do? Luckily, that question gets answered immediately with like one of the latest games. Quinn now has another goal because his literal god came down and said, "Hey, go get this thing." So now he doesn't just have the goal of go smash. So, I honestly, I think the biggest thing that would change is it would kind of free up Quintus in a weird way. He would hate it, but I would honestly see somebody like him with his somewhat optimistic attitude being like, it'll fix itself, and right now I need to focus on this other thing anyway. The reason he didn't draw from the deck though is because I'm afraid of the deck. I've seen what the deck can do to people, and I didn't want anything to do with it. If I would have had a couple more seconds, I might have been able to be like, you know, maybe I'll draw one just for the zaniness, but like in the time allotted to me, I'm just like, nope, never mind, I'm out, I don't want to. And I'm so glad I didn't, because Logan gave me points for that.
Fair.
You did get a nice XP boost.
I did, it was very nice.
If you could have drawn a card of your choice, which one would you have preferred that Quintus draw?
How dare you do this to me?
Also, typically asking that as a Cody question, not as a Quintus question.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, for Quinn, like, that's probably not a big thing. Like, I don't know, like Knight. But for me, the sun would be great, getting all that XP. The moon would be great, getting those wishes. Hey, boy. I'd say probably one of those two. The only other one that would be kind of cool would be the throne, just to like have that keep that Lexi got. I think that'd be kind of cool, that that like Quintus would have his own keep, but at the same time, he's already a noble and like there's already like a Valor-built estate somewhere, so like it wouldn't be that big to me. So I'd say probably like the sun, the sun or the moon. Honestly, one of those two.
Totally.
If I had a choice, or maybe the one that gave the flame tongue to Vogan, but like Quinn has enough weapons, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally fair.
I love grabbing weapons though. That's my favorite part about being a fighter is just like pull out another weapon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Infinite weapons. I actually have a bunch of deck of many things themed questions, so I'm going to try to knock out a bunch of them back to back. Dear Flux, if you could, and honestly, closer to Izzy, because I know Flux wouldn't trade anything ever. But dear Flux, if you could swap any of your cards with someone else's cards, what would you swap with who and why?
That's a tough one.
What would you have wanted other than the worst?
Yeah, well, like I guess you don't know what cards I drew, do you, Chase?
Okay, because I think there was. Okay, yeah. There's one question that says, "Dear Izzy, flames and ruin from the deck has gotta blow. Any worries about what has now been drawn into the campaign? Do you as a player feel guilty about that, or is it just a fun random chance?"
Heckin' yeah, I drew the card that makes someone somewhere out there in the universe consider me an enemy. I drew the one that inflicts me with financial ruin.
Fun.
And then I got the one that increases my intelligence score to 22.
Oh.
Which is pretty neato.
Now, does that just make your intelligence 22 no matter what it was, or did your intelligence increase up to 22 because it was already
my intelligence was already 20, and I chose to put it into intelligence because I think it was a maximum of 24.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just got 2 points.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So I threw it into that because a lot of my abilities get better if I have a better intelligence score.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tough one because I drew some pretty bad cards. At least they hit as really bad as initially, but I was probably one of the better players to get hit with those because like the ruin card, I had like 1,000 gold, which sucked to lose, but it's money. We're adventurers. We'll get more. And while it did make it so that anything like my master left to me would just be like magically left to someone else, like it would be like I never owned it. I don't think my master left me anything, period. So I had nothing to lose there.
Yeah, fair.
It's fine. Just swap the flames with the sun so that we can give Vogan some bad cards.
It's like if I wanted to be a huge dick about it, it's like, yeah, let's just take this ruin card and I'll flip it with this sun card. But I would feel bad about it. So
Vogan got so many
coward.
Fucking great cards.
He got so many good cards.
I didn't even get any cards, right? And I was mad at him.
Right? And he went first, and they were all good. So for the rest of the drawings, it's like he clearly got all the good cards. It's death for the rest of us, fam.
It would have been so funny.
Or the Reaper, or whatever it's called.
Your soul goes to space.
It would have been so funny that after all this happened, the door opens, Quinn comes out, and only Vogan is standing there with a bunch of new shiny things, and everyone else is dead.
Like, the Reapers took us all out, but Vogan was the only one who didn't try to help, so he was fine.
That's fucking great. So probably wouldn't swap very much of anything, but there's some funny, silly things overall.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, if I wanted to be an asshole, there are some cards I want, but I'm a coward, so I probably wouldn't do it.
That's fair. If you as Izzy could guarantee Flux a draw of any specific card, which card would you want him to draw?
Either the sun, just because it's free XP,
That is so good.
or maybe the keep, just because it's similar to like the blessing of Mistra, where Flux would then be put into a position of like owning a castle. It's like why do I have this?
The best part
I'm
about
the
that
butler.
card. The best part about that card is something no one ever freaking actually does with it. Every time I see someone play D&D, and anytime they do like deck many things stuff, and I see anyone get like thrown, the DM or like people hardly ever actually play out the whole thing of there are monsters in the keep.
Yeah, it's a whole adventure.
That
Right.
is so cool, and I cannot wait to get there because like no one ever plays that out. And I cannot wait to play that out.
I really
That's gonna
hope
be so fun.
I really hope Logan fills it with monsters.
I'm pretty sure he said there was gonna be, so
Yay!
it's gonna be so fun.
Mhm. Heck yeah. You kind of covered this a little bit, Izzy, but there's a third deck of many things question for Flux. What was the most valuable thing you lost to the Ruin card, and would you give up your +2 to intelligence to regain it?
Most valuable thing you lost was your 1,000 gold, right?
Yeah, I think
Very,
when
very
you
good.
look at it like paying 1,000 gold to raise my ability score past 20, that's a super good deal.
Oh yeah, you want more? Here, take 100,000 more. Let's keep getting these stats.
Intelligence score of 46. Let's go.
The biggest brain play.
Most valuable thing. Yeah, only other thing he lost besides the gold was just the gemstone that he was gonna turn into a robot. But that was like 100 gold, so
Whenever you said you were trading out homunculus, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. He lost the gem.
like I really like the idea of the homunculus, but it's so hard to justify using like an infusion slot for it. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's so many better things on my
It's
list.
such it's the coolest thing you can do, but it has barely any uses. It's so I love it though.
It's basically like a familiar, like a fine familiar. Like,
I turned mine into a spider backpack, and that was pretty fun.
That's
if I had actually done it, I was gonna make it look like this translucent, like weird jellyfish with like a drawn-on smiley face that just had the gem floating in the middle of it.
Oh heck yeah!
That's a very good time. Next question is for Quintus.
Oh,
Dear Quintus, what are your plans if Lexi rejects you? Will you cry and never love again? Will you realize that there are other wife candidates and move on like nothing happened? Something in between?
well, first off, there is a in my head, just my head, there is a very good chance that Lexi rejects Quinn, and I'm fine with that. I think it's fun to have the interaction, and I've gotten so much more out of this than I initially thought was possible. Last episode we had Avi grab Vogan and then like threaten to murder him because Avi thought that Vogan was the one that said something to Lexi, and it was that alone was worth everything we've done. But as far as Quintus, if Lexi rejects Quintus, he will probably very much accept it. I feel like Quinn is one of those characters like he knows a decent bit about, love and loss and stuff like that and whatever. He's obviously not the most innocent person in the world. However, I think this is the first time he's ever actually felt that strongly for someone, so he'll probably be a little bit out of it for a bit, but keeping the friendship with Lexi will be very easy. And as far as the rest is, I mean, there's more fish in the sea, and his uncle told him to go and bag a fish. That's all I know, man. It's
go fishing, buddy boy.
It's one of his goals. If Lexi rejects him, and there's a very good chance she does, he can't quit. He can't not look for more wives.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
So flip side of that, dear Quinn, how does Quintus see his relationship with Lexi growing if she does like him?
Oh my god, I've actually thought about this. I've actually super thought about this. One of the big things with it is like I've actually like had so many things in my head to have Quintus ask Lexi, and I'll reveal a couple of them. I'm not gonna say too many of them.
Right.
But like one of them is like having a conversation because he knows how much her name means to her. Because she's basically the one that gave herself the name Lexi Hendricks, I think. And one of the big things is like having a conversation with her. It's like, hey, we don't have like I know how much that means to you. We don't have the whole Valor built thing doesn't have to be like that big of a deal because he knows because like it's one of his greatest things. It's like this is something that's absolutely fantastic to him. But like if they do end up having like a strong relationship beyond this, it's like Quinn is sitting there like this is something that means like the world to her. I wouldn't have her change that, and a bunch of stuff like that. Like a whole bunch of kind of things come into mind, and it's definitely something that like if it is set out and they end up doing something like that, it would also bring up like a big plot point later because it's like Quinn's uncle will be like, no. We need Valor built Quinn, and he'd be like, but she likes her name, Unk. And like a bunch of stuff like that. And I have a lot more. And again, I don't know how these are gonna play out because it's with a player character, so like it's me and Carrie would have to like talk through all these different things. But I have 100% thought them through. I have a lot of stuff written down for both scenarios for if she turns them down or if she doesn't. And people just have to wait and see, man.
Indeed.
Good.
The next question I have is for Flux. Dear Flux, which emotion are you most looking forward to figuring out?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think. He's been feeling a lot of like rage and just like emptiness after achieving vengeance and it not bringing him happiness, and he's really not about those so far. Could be better, like 4 out of 10 maybe. But like, I don't know. He's starting to get a handle of like kind of happiness, and that one seems good. Perhaps one day he will take an interest in love, seeing as how there are so many people in the group who seem to be kind of starting to pair off. It's like,
heck yeah,
that's an interesting prospect.
Avi.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal Avi from Roy. Interesting play. Let's see how that goes for him.
Flux is like, I have decided to look for another, and everyone's like, oh, you're gonna figure out love next, and he's like, no, carnal lust. Nothing but physicality. Only in it for the bone zone, as everyone knows. Flux fucks.
It's fine if it does go with the whole like getting rid of Rory for Flux thing. It's like you're just trading one tin can for the other.
Damn.
I love
But
Rory.
yeah, I think it'd be really interesting, like seeing Flux try to figure out romantic love, because like. He's a robot. He doesn't have any kind of sex drive, so that doesn't factor into it.
I mean,
so,
I'm
like,
sure you could get one installed.
Get a sex drive installed.
Plug it in like it's a hard drive. Installing sex drive. You just hear an ominous vibrating.
Oh no!
Commencing mission. No idea how that would go, but I think it would be really interesting to see.
Just fucking terrifying concept is Flux uses wish to figure out his emotions.
Flux uses wish to get his sex drive.
Flux uses wish to figure out his emotions, decides he really wants to go for a physical side of things, and then a week later uses wish to become a real boy. And it's install a sex drive.
I wish for a penis.
Truly a very dark timeline we are proposing here.
friggin' if like the last time he used Alter Self, like based on that alone, I imagine that Flux permanently turning into like an organic being would be a truly horrific thing for quite some time. Because as I've said before, Flux doesn't have like moving parts on his face. So when he used Alter Self to look human, it was just this horrifying frozen grin that didn't blink because he doesn't know he needs to move his face.
What a beautiful boy.
That staring at you mid
Casanova.
What a patoot.
What an absolute patoot.
Next question. Dear anyone, who gives the best hugs in the highest standard?
Oh, damn.
Now the real stakes are in.
I feel like Quintus, like, probably, right? Like, that dude holds nothing back. Like, he has no inhibitions about showing people how much he cares for them. Like, I feel like he'd give real good hugs.
I definitely think that is he's in the running, definitely. I would say Miriam. Mostly because Miriam is the type of person who, first off, probably wouldn't hurt anybody from hugging them, but also is definitely somebody who would know what kind of hug to kind of give someone. Like, you know, it's like he would have like his steps set forward. And the only other person I could think of who'd be like in the running, and you're all gonna look at me weird when I say this, but Raleigh.
Raleigh?
Here's the thing. Raleigh is a squishy tiny boy. But Raleigh has a good charisma about him. Raleigh could go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, let's hug it out," and he does the whole thing where like he does like the one arm hug and then the pat. I think Raleigh would be a good hugger.
just the right amount of awkward to kind of put you at ease.
Exactly. Where it's like, you know, Quinn is like overbearingly like nice. Kitty is like very much like in the sensual side. Raleigh is more in the, like the charismatic side, the diplomatic side for it. So like there's three very different hugs there. And then you got to throw in Fenris because Fenris has the boob window and that'd be a pretty good hug. So those are the four horsemen of the hug in the standard.
Okay, as much as I agree with you up to everything except that last part, if we're doing the four horsemen of hugging, which implies terrible fates befall those who get the hug, then Vogan has to be deaf.
You know what? Okay, let's go ahead and think of it like this for a second, because I was gonna say Vogan for a moment, but then I realized something and it made me stop. But if we go with that, fuck Fenris, get her out of here. Vogan has the belt of giant strength right now. He could lift hug anyone in the group, including Quintus.
Definitely.
Just fucking, and I saw a pale rider on the horizon that made him to be deaf as Vogan fucking makes a grapple check for the hug. It's not even a fucking normal hug. He's trying to deal an arm damage to you.
You're like a tube of toothpaste, man. It's just a horrific scene.
I like that dynamic. I like the dynamic of those four as the four horsemen of hug.
That's totally fair. Wait, going back to Miriam for a
Worst
second.
hugs are Avi, by the way.
Oh shit! Fuck it. Hot takes. Hot takes here. Hot takes only. I'm just imagining with Miriam. Somebody's like, all right, buddy, bring it in. Let's hug it out. And Miriam, like, fucking slows down time in his head and does that Sherlock Holmes scene with, like, discombobulates, like, fucking has a plan of exactly how to proceed with the hug and then, like, executes it flawlessly. With the way you were describing, he'd have a hug for every situation.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, what a good boy.
What a good boy.
There obviously I would put people like, you know, Flint and Fume into consideration, except that I'm pretty sure Flint would have to be in any sort of like animal form for it, and Fume isn't part of the highest standard yet. So I'm kidding.
I do also feel like Lexi would give excellent hugs. Depending on who you are, she'd just be like hugging your leg. Be really cute.
I think she would probably give pretty neato hugs as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good hugs. I feel like Lexi has one hug, but that hug is great, you know?
Yeah.
Like whereas everybody else has like some sort of variety of hug, she has the one hug, but it's a good hug, you know?
Right. A hug from Lexi feels like it was well earned.
And then there's Flux, who would just like put his arms out like completely perpendicular and then just back away.
Just start at a T pose and then like adjusting pressure. Tell me when you begin to crush.
Fucking like, all right, Flux, that's enough, and you just hear like the like escape from the hydraulics. Oh.
Look, we just have to somehow figure out how to get both Scabbard and the Suicide Squawk into the highest standards, so we have more people to add into this hug scenario, you know?
I agree. I absolutely.
We need to get more hugging in here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because here's the big thing: if we were to be serious, and all of those people were like brought into consideration, Omar.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah, I feel like you would give excellent hugs.
Oh, it's like next level. That's not even fair. Like,
and like, not only do we have Omar with his big strong arms, we have Elma, who is like, you know, the complete opposite side of the spectrum.
You know, let's flip this around here for a second. Chase, Hanzo hugs. What say you?
Oh, yeah, what's going on?
Okay, so if Hanzo was hugging people, it would not be good. Like he's never like, a hug is a foreign concept that's just been introduced to him generally. There's no way that he's like super familiar and had practice. He's like on a Flux level of hugging.
We'll see in the beach game.
Train. He'd have to train. He'd have to read that manual of hugging.
We'll see in the beach game, because you know
Hanzo and Flux.
You know we're dragging Hanzo into the beach game. I mean, look at that man's.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Hell
We gotta
yeah.
do that. Oh yeah. Next question I have is for Quintus.
Oh.
And this is an absolute next level stakes version of this question, and I really appreciate the zazz they've thrown into the way that they phrase this. Dear Quintus, who is the ultimate wife?
I feel put on the spot.
Who is most wife? That implies, like, you know, at the moment with my current level of perception, like, you know, I think maybe this is ultimate wife. Greatest of all time wife.
Oh man. Oh jeez. Do I have some water?
We know you're thirsty, Quintus. Who is ultimate wife?
Well, here's the thing. I have answers, and they were all very easy to come up with. But it's different. It's. I have to ask a question of you, Chase.
Of course, yes.
Is this ultimate wife, as it means to Quinn, or ultimate wife as it means to just like the correct answer?
Okay. I will say we will start on a subjective scale of what is best to Quinn, and then I will follow that up with, cosmically speaking, who is ultimate wife.
Okay. So, to Quinn, ultimate wife, no, like, there's absolutely zero hesitation. There's no other person that could possibly be Kitty. He is the man who breaks up.
Got him.
I don't know your big long spiel for that one.
No, that's totally fair. For a second though, I thought you threw me an absolute fucking curveball I was not ready for when you first started talking, because you said to Quinn this, and I heard to Quinn the god. To Quinn. And I was like,
I mean, they are twins.
Cody, you went hard.
They are twins. Twins, Chase. Twins.
Gotta consider twins. I was like going for the deity scale before we've even hit cosmic wife.
Well,
I
here's the
appreciate
thing.
the moxie.
Here's the thing. We're about to get to that.
Yes, indeed we
Because
are.
undeniably, in my opinion, like if we are talking about in-game, because I have an in-game and out-of-game that are completely undeniable. In-game, undeniably, best wife can do anything for you. She has helped us out in so many situations. I no longer have amnesis, Chase. I don't know how else to say this. And she fine. And she fine though, and she can be there anytime you need her. She's there. You just have to get her some flowers.
Totally fair.
Complete patoot, complete great, best wife in game. Now there is one more answer. Out of game, statistically and unbiasedly, the best wife scandal, because we've proven it.
Statistically, yes.
Statistically best wife. Like let's be honest.
The rumor come out. We've gotten the entire scope of everyone's opinions ever. It's true.
And there we go. Those are the three best wives in Vestige.
Very, very nice. I appreciate that. Next question, dear Flux, who is ultimate wife?
Oh, dip. That's a thinker.
I almost wish I could have dragged Cody into another chat and like had him answer and then come back and ask Izzy and avoid what the ultimate wife is.
That would have been so good.
Ultimate wife. That is difficult. It's definitely not an area that he has any experience in, so he doesn't know what kind of criteria we can objectively measure these wives upon.
Yes.
So
well, you have to use cold hard facts and statistics, man. You're a robot. Go for it.
Indeed. Yes. How
We're
does
waiting
one
on bated
measure
breath.
Such a...
We need to know who Flux would go for as soon as he becomes a real boy.
Let's see. Flux does like creativity. So like someone more on the artistic side would enjoy talking to them, and that's probably how that would kind of start.
I'm seeing where things are leaning.
By that logic, I guess maybe Lyra.
Hey.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest here. Lyra, top tier wife. Like at the tippy top, like up there. Lyra, S tier wife.
I thought for a second you were gonna do like a really long build up and be like, yeah, somebody creative, somebody very attractive, somebody I've known for a very long time. So Kitty, like again.
Yes.
No, I was about to say that, and then I remembered Lyra existed.
Oh, good. That's great.
Then we remembered that Kitty with boobs existed. I'm kidding.
But yeah, honestly, like, yeah, Flux is a genderless robot, so yeah,
Totally
like,
true.
don't I really have any idea like where his preferences would fall if he began to have them. Yeah, I could also see him going for Kitty. Kitty's got a lot of charisma.
So what we know about Flux now, Flux into bards.
Yep.
I think so, because like he finds like art
You wanna go
so
smooch Pelosi?
fascinating.
Is that what's going on?
Like his mind automatically goes to such like he thinks in straight lines by default, and it takes a lot of effort to be more creative. So he finds the idea of like artists like so fascinating that they can just intuitively tap into that and do things that like no one would logically think of, but that are still somehow so wonderful.
I can definitely get that. Yeah, I can see that coming from Flux. It's like the thing that he thinks he can't do. It's like something he looks up to so much.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, Miriam, then Lyra.
Good. I'm glad that we've reached a consensus.
So both of our answers were Kitty. So both of our in-character answers were Kitty.
Empirically speaking,
I am fine sharing Kitty with you, Flux.
Yay! I'm fine being a side hoe, Master Quintus.
Good.
Please let me know when it's my turn.
Oh, the ominous vibrating.
I am prepared.
Who said anything about turns?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Did you just cock your... Well...
I'm gonna
die. Next question I have is for Quintus.
Hey, what's up, man?
Dear Quintus, Avi seemed pretty mad. Any plans to calm them down, or are you gonna take that beating like a true honorable knight?
I don't know, throw like a blanket over her head or something and wait for her to fall asleep?
I think it's night. You can bear it, it's fine.
Make her think it's night.
Yeah, that's a strategy. I can't say it'll work. Let's see how it plays out. But it is unquestionably a strategy.
Dude, they're right behind me. I'm scared.
That is unquestionably one of the strategies I've ever heard.
That is strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, he's probably just gonna talk to her, like. But yeah, if that doesn't work, sheet over the head.
Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
Flawless.
Mm-hmm. Additional question for Quintus. Dear Quintus, honor, honored, honoring, honor, chivalry, honored. Please also respond in the code of honor, which, as we all know, is thieves' cant for knights.
Honor, chivalry, honor, duty, honor.
We gotta get this guy removed from the chat. That was really offensive. Okay. I just liked the way that they phrased that question, that there was a thieves' cant for knights that was just basically all of 3 words. I'm here for it. Question next up is for both of you. Dear Quintus and Flux, what was the most stressful part of the election arc?
Most stressful part? Does that include like the tournament and all that, or like just like the election part of it?
We'll say the tournament in there as well.
Does that include the part where my head almost got severed from my body?
For fun, we can include that.
It's for funsies. Get crazy with it.
Yeah.
I guess probably the most stressful might have been when Quinn was pitching, like, we need to give this magic apple to Murkwire.
It worked!
I mean, yeah, but at the time, it was like, even Flux was going behind his back being like, I don't think he's thinking clearly. Do we need to take this apple from him?
I never even had it!
We need to make sure he does not do this foolish thing.
I think the biggest stressful thing of it for Quinn was during the final attack with Stradivarius. Mostly for the fact of he had to get up to a position to help people, and he was just, his tiny little Quinn self. And whenever he finally got up into the stands where a bunch of people were murdered the fuck out of, he was basically like hit with a child, like a burnt up kid, like dead child. So that was probably the most stressful part for Quinn, is him getting, that thrown at him. He has most definitely been in war before, but that was not war. That was the first he'd ever seen something like that. Then probably the decapitation thing, but that's also because there was also other murder and death that was happening around there. I'd say both of those scenarios, mostly because that was what put Quinn in a position of, I can't do anything by myself. He was always just in that position of, I need someone else to help. I need someone else here. I have so many limitations, and I love how the recent episode has just been with him talking to his mother in one of these things, like in like a little bit of that kind of backstory thing.
Yeah.
Him gaining that thing from her, where her saying these people need a valor built, and then him taking the oath of authority for being a paladin, which one of the oaths in that is you don't let limits limit you. Like, you want to surpass your limits. So Quinn back then was like, I can't do everything myself, and now he's like, I have to, though. I have to do what I can and surpass being just me. Which is one reason why I really love Logan's paladin that he made, the paladin class he made, because it's literally just, I refuse to have limits.
Plus Ultra, the archetype.
Yes.
That tracks.
I love it. Follow-up question to that, which is already written, but, we talked about it a little bit. Dear Quinn, congratulations on your new lion sugar daddy. Now that both of you are part of the God Squad, do you feel any closer to Fenris? Any thoughts on how you're going to use your newfound magical God Kitty powers?
Well, so far, my magical God Kitty powers equate to touching people and make them feel good for 5 HP.
Very strong.
I mean, I can technically use that 5 times with 1 HP just to get people up.
So, 5 times? What stamina?
Or I can use it, or I can use all 5 at once to do to remove a disease from people. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
We've learned. I don't know how Logan would play it, but we have learned that if you add amnesis quick enough, you can remove it somewhat because of what we've seen with Jerky. So I don't know if that would work with my paladin powers of touch for 5 and remove that if it's early enough. I don't know, but I'm 100% gonna try it. But
that's cool.
Right now that's kind of all I have. I have a divine sense, I think. I don't really remember what all paladins get at first level. But next level is gonna be super fun.
That'll be a very good time.
So that's when divine smite start happening.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal. Could you go into detail on what happened in the way of receiving a lion sugar daddy?
Of course. What had ended up happening was after the whole talking to his mommy thing in his mind. Once the dragon was taken care of, the one that we were fighting, you were there. Once that was taken care of, we had gone to the church to return the souls of those that were taken in from the Tenebros to give them back to them. But however, right outside of it, Quintus saw the statue of his god Heros, and it seemed to be calling out to him almost. It looked like it had a new sheen to it. It was very much very unique looking, and him and Flux stay behind, and he just mentioned to Flux all the different things that were going through his mind that he was gonna tell Fenris, because again, this kind of goes to the whole feeling closer to Fenris thing. It's yeah, there's a lot of stuff he wants to talk to Fenris about, but she's too busy banging right now. He was able to talk to Flux about what he was gonna do, and basically set up a pledge that he would not sit still and let stuff like this go on and stuff like that. And then Heros was like, hey, I'm gonna put some freaking daylight in you. Your armor's gonna change to look all liony, You're gonna get like a big red thing on your arm, which is cool, and a big lion on your shoulder, and that's really cool. And then he got like a vision of the tiger's eye that he saw on his mom's blade in his backstory thing, or in his like little like vision thing, and he heard a voice that he assumes is Harrow say, "Go and get it." So he's like, "Yeah, yes, yeah, I'll do that." So that's how he became a paladin.
That's really fucking cool. Thank you. That's fun. That's a very good time. I like that at the power scale that you're at, where you and all of your friends together can take out this incredibly powerful dragon. This god shows up and is like, "Go and get it, and here is a thing that lets you heal 5."
I mean, it's one of the big things that always like kind of stopped me from wanting to immediately like go into paladin. Was the fact that it's paladin is a strong class. It's not the best multi-class into class immediately. Like it's the one usually multi-class from, not multi-class into. Especially whenever I get to like 5th level of paladin, it's gonna be like a terrible level for me. Because that's where you get multi-attack, but multi-attack doesn't stack, so
it doesn't.
So that's gonna be a terrible level for me.
Congrats on just more health.
Basically. But you know, I mean, if I go and complete my task, there's probably going to be some sort of a reward from Harrows for doing so. So that's going to be fun. And you know, being a paladin of Harrows will have its perks. I believe next time we see Quipcat, I can kick his ass and he might actually like me. So that'll be fun. Because Quipcat left and I'm sad.
I get that.
Goodbye, shield bro.
Say, it's more of a critique of multi-classing at late level mechanically than a critique of anything else. Just because
definitely.
It always feels underwhelming to pick up a new class really late in the game.
There was a part of me that was like, don't do it, don't multi-class or anything like that. But then there's another part of me like, you're not freaking min-maxing. Like come on, this is a fun thing. Don't bitch out.
That's very, very cool narratively. I wanted to make that clear that I
definitely. I don't think it's gonna end up being extremely strong, but thanks to Vogan, thanks to Spencer letting me have Muscle Book, it's gonna make that a lot less of a big problem, because I'm gonna get those 2 extra points. I'm gonna feel a little bit stronger. It's gonna be fun. And again, the Divine Smites are gonna be great.
Oh my goodness,
The Divine Smites with my increased crit range is gonna be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, man. Like getting to choose to do those after you know you got a crit, like that is so good to do that. That is a good time.
Oh, that's gonna be deliciously gross.
And while I'm on Winchester, if they're a medium or smaller creature, I get advantage on all my attacks.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's gonna be gross.
It's gonna be great.
Speaking of things that are incredibly ridiculous and very powerful, Dear Flux, was that a giant death robot? Are you gonna pilot that?
Right, that is my fondest wish. When that was being narrated, like my inner 8-year-old was just screaming with absolute unhinged glee.
just Flux staring up. I want that!
Like, I'm trying so hard for Flux to be like, yes, I can see all of you have very good points about where you wish to go. Meanwhile, me, Izzy, it's like, I want to go see the robot! I don't care about this other bullshit. I just want the robot!
I want it!
But yeah, to give a little context there, during the fight with Tenebros at the end there, we were having our visions. I can't remember, you had dipped out by that point, right? Church?
Yeah, he had left the game before.
I was there for all of the visions. Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay,
were?
so you already got that.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, it sounds like Flux may have like commissioned a giant god-killing like super Gundam or something.
Yeah. Yeah, when all of you got your visions of the past and got to interact with them or not based on saves, you were holding this giant, I believe, very large stone that was going to be placed inside of this Gundam, and you were yelled at to do it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, right, being told to do things. That's the main thing that I'm about." So you stuck that in there, and you got to know that there was a giant death robot somewhere out there, maybe at some time.
Called the Sword of Damocles, which is in no way foreboding.
Yeah, that doesn't make it. That's not like any sort of bad omen or anything.
But man, I am just so excited to live out all of my Pacific Rim dreams.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Want
just
to
so
get that
ready.
Jaeger.
I'm so ready for you to get in a Jaeger / pilot a Gundam / get in the robot, and as you're about to do it, Vogan or somebody else, possibly even Quinn, just goes like, "What the fuck's a Damocles?"
What's a Damocles? What's going on over here? Sounds
I'm
dumb.
so very
That doesn't even
sad.
look like a sword.
I'm so
Flux, you
hoping
told me
that-
there'd be a sword.
That just
This
looks
is
like
just
a
a
really
really-
big version of you. Wait, are
He's
you
just a really
sword?
big guy?
Are you a sword, Flux? If this is a
Begins
sword,
to-
are you a sword?
Begins to wield Flux as a sword.
I believe it is more poetic than literal, Master Quintus.
I will
Starts
tell
swinging
you-
him around by his leg.
I will call you the dagger of Damocles.
Oh no.
Go, Damocles dagger! Spew forth your silver fire!
Yes, Master Quintus.
He
I
just grabs him by his legs, spins around like 360, spewing silver flames everywhere.
None would survive such an attack.
We're a Beyblade of death.
Oh no.
Friggin' I am so hoping that is how that storyline ends, is with us piloting the Sword of Damocles against something big enough to warrant being in such a thing.
You know you all have to get matching color-coded uniforms, though, if we're about to get in that Voltron motherfucker.
Oh,
Yo,
just
I think we can work. I think we can do that.
Just imagine like this goes like full ham, and it's like you know, like how they do in anime. It's like, oh, this is works off of your biology or something, so it like connects with all of us, and like we can use like some of our abilities or something through it. So it's just like gets to my turn. What do you want the giant robot to do? Well, action surge. And divine smite.
Oh, no.
We just like produce a Jaeger-sized version of like the Hammer of Constantinian Winter.
Oh no.
That would be so cool.
That would be very, very cool. Just fucking... Alright, I'm piloting it, and we can use our abilities. I'd like to cast a scaled-up in size version of the crazy fire thing. So, like, that's what, like 300 by 100? In the zone
Or
the robot is?
Or the worst part would be it's like I'm gonna cast that fire and it only comes out in the 15-foot cone.
It like flicks open and it just kind of like comes out like a little lighter.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Remember me.
Remember me.
Just, it comes out of the mouth and we know that it's going to come out of the mouth, so you got to get within 15 feet of whatever you're trying to breathe the fire onto. So it kind of looks a lot like you're trying to make out with whatever you're fighting.
Quick,
Here.
give him the kiss of flame.
Meh. I want
Oh.
to do some math on this,
Quick.
actually.
Quick, hit him in the face with our lips.
Good. Quick, hit his lips with our lips.
So if we assume that this robot is like 100 feet tall and use like, say like 5 feet just so it cleanly divides, we can say that this robot is like roughly maybe 20 times the size of like a person, give or take.
Yep.
And Logan actually corrected me that it's actually a 50-foot line and a 30-foot cone.
Oh.
So if we were to do the line one, that's a 1,000-foot line of fiery death.
That is legitimately just a death laser.
It's the fucking thing from Giant Robot Anime where like the thing sweeps across with like a laser pointer line, and then there's just explosions all across everything the line traced across.
Right. Like I think this is just how we take over Retia. I think this is where we're going, guys.
Yeah.
Highest standard. We're gonna rule this.
Can we quickly take this over to the land away real quick? There's a bunch of like really bad people over there who killed my dad. I want to step on.
Gladly, Master Quintus.
Speaking of being ridiculously powerful on top of being ridiculously powerful, Dear Flux, how does it feel knowing you can roll a plus 21 into a saving throw, you gross bitch?
Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, it's actually,
Go ahead.
Plus 21? I think it's like plus 20, but still.
That's pretty close.
Sorry,
You're right. They overreacted.
Because it's like, let's see, plus 6 for my intelligence, and then I have proficiency with it, so that's a plus 4 now. And then I could add a plus 6 from my Flash Genius. Boopy doo. Yeah, okay, so I could only roll a plus 16 on an intelligence save. It's nothing crazy.
Right, yeah, it's really, really nowhere near the number I said. That was egregious on my part.
Oh my god, yeah, I realized that, but I could roll a plus 20 if I'm doing Ancient History or Ancient Investigation, which is, oh my god, that's so gross. It's so specific, but holy shit, that's not okay.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, like intelligence saves are like the rarest of all the saves as well.
Yeah.
But like
Absolutely,
that does
yeah.
mean that anything that goes for an intelligence save on you, which are usually big fucking terrible things, you can basically just make yourself immune to.
Yeah. It'll end up being a repeat of when in the last Fate campaign where we fought the Mind Flayers.
Oh god.
And was the one time being proficient in intelligence saves just super useful, just shrugging them off.
You're just like, I'd like to cast Wish, and for my wish, I'd like to have the intelligence equivalent of evasion. So that if I succeed on an intelligence saving throw, I don't take half of whatever the effect is.
Oof. But yeah, to answer your question, feels pretty darn good.
Yeah, I believe it.
Just throw so many intelligence saves at me, do it.
Here we go. Immune to all things brain related. Next question is for Quintus.
That's me.
Dear Quintus, you
That's me
confided.
again.
It is. You confided with Vogan that while you respected him, you saw him as a rival when it came to your idolic arms. With Quipcat gone, will you still continue your rivalry with him?
What do you mean? Quipcat's not gone. I just don't know where he is.
With Quipcat absent, / late to class, / at least invisible, will you still continue your rivalry with Vogan?
I think that it's more than the idolic arms. It's definitely Vogan in particular. The fact that it might have been, back then he might have said it in that way, but I do think that Quinn, whenever he sees Vogan, he sees like someone who is him plus, Especially back then, he saw somebody who was extremely more capable in his eyes, that was more capable than him to protect the party. And whenever he looks at Vogan, he really respects him, and he really does see him as like something that he would love to like attain and to overcome. So I'd say that I'd say he would definitely still see Vogan as a rival in that respect. Less of like, less of the blue rival and more of like the How rival. I'm the friendly rival. I'm your friendly rival that takes the Pokemon that is least affected to you.
Oh, what a good boy.
Heck yeah. This was somewhat mentioned earlier, but still related. Dear Quinn, how does it feel to get dumped by Quipcat? Any words you'd like to say to them?
That's fine. I don't need you. No. It sucks. There's not a lot else to say about it. I really enjoyed being able to teleport 50 feet. That was fun.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
That was super fun. Like, and I'm so glad I got that one like kill. We were fighting like this big gross like Nautilus shell thing, right? And like I was able to like jump up with the thing and then like point down with the spear and go through it. Thanks to Quipcat, and it was so cool. And like Quipcat gave me so many cool abilities. And like it was just great. Like I had basically a shield that like projected freaking like a magic shield in front of him, and like gave him like damage a reduction. And the shield itself gave him like up to 23 AC.
That's disgusting.
Ooh.
It was just such a great thing. The only thing that it did wrong was it lowered his movement by 10. So like he was always walking around like 20 feet around. But who needs to go 30 feet around when you can teleport 50?
You just
and it works when he's on Winchester.
Yeah.
Winchester can teleport 50 feet with Quinn and the shield.
Did Winchester even get slowed down by the shield?
No.
Yeah. No downsides, baby.
It was so good. Quipcat is absolutely like the coolest item I think that could have ever came to Quinn. Maybe if there's ever like any other Constella queries or any other like idolic arms that show up that like would be pretty cool. I don't know. Logan makes some really cool items. There's also like potentially talking about some sort of a blade on top of this mountain that may either go to Vogan or go to somebody else around there. So that might be pretty neato to look at. But I do think that Quipcat is the epitome of Quinn. Like that was such a fun item to have on him. It was so good. It gave him his flashiness, he didn't have anything flashy, and now he had this freaking shield that let him destroy everyone. It was so great.
Heck yeah. I have 3 more questions.
Oh,
right.
And the first of the last 3 is to Flux.
That's not me.
Dear Robro, so that was a thing. How you feel about that? How you feeling about feeling? Has the process of getting broken and fixed changed your outlook? Do you think you might have a soul since something must have experienced what happened, right?
Right? Like, that was definitely a great spike of emotion all at once there, because he definitely didn't think of himself as being worth, like, a diamond to bring back to life. It's just like, it's a tool. Tools break, get a new tool. And,
but you're really expensive and rare.
Yeah, that is fair. Perhaps harder to come by than, like, say, a wrench. But, yeah, like, he definitely kind of has to acknowledge that he has a soul because there was some form of consciousness after death. Like, he felt his friends calling him back to life. Like, that's a thing to grapple with.
Yep, that's the whole thing.
There are definitely a lot of factors pelting him all at once. Or like, you're a person, goddamn you! It's like, no, just my life is simple. I like being a thing.
If I'm a thing, I don't have to think.
Right? Like, at some point, he's gonna have to grapple with, like, being responsible for his own choices, and he's really scared of that idea because he doesn't think that he would make good choices, or at least he's not certain that he would.
I'm sure he would. He's got more intelligence than probably most people on the continent, so it's fine.
Yeah, for some reason he doesn't take that into account. Also, the Robro thing was really cute. I feel like he had a nice moment with Omar there. He seemed like a cool guy that he'd like to get to know.
Yeah.
Omar's very, very
He seems like a cool guy that needs to join the highest standard.
We'll get him.
Yes. You will obtain Bromar.
I will obtain. We will obtain the squawk.
Yes.
Assume the squawk!
Assimilate, squawk.
Wonderful. Second to last question, also for Flux.
Oh, heck.
Dear Flux, you got to see Quintus get that shiny upgrade, parentheses, becoming a paladin, close parentheses. You think you'd ever consider worshipping Heros? Want to multi-class into paladin, Flux? Huh?
Probably not. Like, if anyone, he would worship Mistra, because Mistra has done so much for him so quickly that he has an impossible debt to repay. And yeah, if anyone, I think it would actually be pretty likely that he would worship Mistra, because like I was thinking like the last like couple of weeks about like the way he views himself and the world, and yeah, like considering yourself subservient to a higher power that you trust to make your big choices for you sounds a lot like the way Flux thinks. So yeah, it's like I think he would probably be religious. I think he would find that very comforting.
Izzy. Okay, you got like the ability to cast whatever spell you ever see. Okay, you got like the shining like silver fire. All right, but did you see that I have a lion on my shoulder? My pauldron turned into a lion. Did your pauldron turn into a lion?
No, I was merely gifted with the ability to bend reality to my very whim once a week.
Yeah,
Did your pauldron turn into a lion?
I could make a pauldron that looks like a lion, Master Quintus.
Yeah, but then you have to do that for yourself. Did someone else do that for you?
I would never want to put them out like that. I would love to do it for myself.
Foolish.
You could make the fire come out of the lion face.
That is
Eros
a solid
pretty great.
point.
Anyway, Flux Paladin of Mistra coming soon to a theater near you, I'm sure.
Heck yeah.
Last question is for Quinn.
Oh.
Dear Quinn, it seems that the battle for Lexi's heart has a new contender. What are your plans to deal with the dashing, suave, and debonair person/thing that is the stick holder?
Murder.
Oh.
Immediate murder. No. Here's the thing. Like you know, you have to be comfortable with your own masculinity in these sort of situations. It's of course the stick holder has a wonderful place in her heart, but there are other places which I can fill in much different ways. The stick holder I do not find in any way any sort of threat to myself. I'm very comfortable with myself. So I think the stick holder has a place in all of our hearts, really.
The last words of a fool.
I'll do it again. Murder.
Murder. I love murder.
I love murder.
What?
I did it.
Stick holder. Activate instant kill mode.
Just start spinning. Knives coming out of it.
Well, this brings us to the final part of Chat19, which is
what?
That your fellow players on Nat19 have submitted questions for you, And those questions are accounted for amongst the questions that have been asked here.
Oh,
There are 6 questions asked by your fellow players on Nat19. I will give you each 4 guesses to figure out which ones are which.
Did anybody not submit questions?
Yes.
and does that include guest game people or only the main?
Only main people.
Okay.
Okay.
I will let Izzy have the first guess.
Okay. So first one, I could be very wrong, but I actually feel very confident about this. I think that the plus 21 to saves is one of our friends.
That question, dear Flux, how does it feel knowing that you can roll a plus 21 into saving throw, you gross bitch? That question was not submitted by one of your fellow players on Nat19.
Really?
It was phrased almost exactly as though a Carrie might have said it, but no.
Heck, I was so sure of that one because I thought I had a conversation with Carrie and Hayden about this yesterday, and I thought they just misheard what I said because I said that if I was rolling for investigation on those things, I couldn't roll less than a 21.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had caught them in the act. Heck,
Mm-hmm. But no!
it says
It was not. Cody. Your
Guess.
Guess my power.
I'm going to say that because I haven't had a ton of time to think it over, I'm going to say that Book of Muscles was one of our friends.
Dear Quintus, once you finish reading your book of muscles, what is the next book you might want to read? Or is there anything else you want to research? That question was submitted by one of your fellow players on Nat19.
Hey.
oh dip.
Awards you the correct guess with a point of favor for an additional point. Dare you guess who submitted this question?
Oh, that's Spencer.
This question was not submitted by Spencer.
Question: did Spencer put any of them in?
Who can truly say?
Damn it!
Heck.
Who can truly say?
I hate you.
I'm
playing.
Okay. It's back on.
It's because you were so spooked because I said I hate you for a second. Then you're like, oh no, but then I backpedaled really hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the game is back on. Yes.
Yeah.
The game is afoot. Even. Easy, your turn now.
Okay.
There are 5 questions remaining.
How was question 15 phrased? The one about fighting Avi?
I mean, I didn't count them numerically.
Oh heck, I'm sorry. There's a question for Quintus, I know.
Okay, the
Avi
Avi
seems
being
pretty
mad.
Yeah, there's probably it. I wrote in really basic versions to try and remember.
I gotcha. The Avi seems pretty mad. Any plans to calm them down, or are you going to take that beating like a true honorable knight? That question. Is that the one? Is that the one that you were asking about?
I think that's the one I was asking about.
Okay.
Am I confident?
Do you what to do, my boy?
Let's say yes.
Okay. That question. Dear Quintus, Avi seemed pretty mad. Any plans to calm them down, or are you going to take that beating like a true honorable knight? That question was submitted by one of your fellow players on Nat19. Oh, I thought for sure I was gonna final answer you, and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna change my mind. Oh, for an additional point. Who asked this question?
Okay. And these questions have been reworded?
Yes, slightly, very slightly.
Yeah, okay.
Oh wait, Never mind. Hold on. I have a different. Give me a second. Take your time.
I want to say either Carrie or Hayden, but I feel like those are like the obvious ones. So I'm very unsure. I would just say, let's say Hayden.
Okay. That question was not submitted by Hayden.
Ah.
We are 3 guesses in, and 2 of the 6 questions have been claimed. You guys are actually doing really good.
We're doing it.
Next try goes to Cody.
I was looking through them at first, going like, okay, which one of these is worded like it's our friends, and now I'm sitting here like, oh fuck.
To be fair, I mostly just reformatted them to fit the formatting of the other questions.
Oh, okay. If that is the case, then do I still want to? Yeah, I still kinda think it is. Let's go with. I'm trying to find the exact wording of it because I went away from it after that. Dear Flux, was that a giant death robot?
I see. Dear Flux, was that a giant death robot? Are you gonna pilot that? That question was not submitted by one of the players on Nat19.
I'm sitting here like, are you gonna pilot that? Like that felt like such a Carrie thing to say. You gonna pilot that?
Do it.
With that, we are on to Izzy's guess. Your second last. You have guessed 2 of these correctly, and there are 4 guesses left between the 2 of you. And there are 4 questions left among these questions. You could possibly get all of them.
Oh my God. That's too much to hope for.
So far, so good. Is what I'm saying.
Let's see here. I will say... how does it feel after talking to Miriam about the big mouse?
The big mouse.
That big mouse. Dear Quintus, now that you told Miriam about the big mouse, how does it feel to finally tell someone about said big mouse? Are you relieved that you finally told someone? Are you nervous that Lexi might find out, or is it a bit of both? Additionally, what are your plans on how to win over this big mouse? Does this plan involve strawberries in any way, shape, or form? That question.
Shit, now that sounds more like a fan question.
Yeah, that sounds mega like a fan question.
Yeah. Heck, let's go Flux. What feeling are you gonna figure out next?
Okay. The question... Dear Flux, which emotion are you most looking forward to figuring out? That question.
Yeah.
That question was submitted by one of your fellow players on Nat19. Y'all are on a roll. Now, dare you answer who submitted this?
I'm feeling like I want to say bread.
Okay. That question was indeed submitted by Brad Bredesen of Internet Fame.
Oh my God! Yay!
So good. So very good.
Never get these. Heck yeah.
I am so proud of you boys so far. We are on to Cody.
It's everything I ever wanted.
This is such a stupid one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the question itself isn't stupid, but like I feel like saying this is one of them would be dumb. However, they have been known to throw curveballs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Dear Quinn. It seems like there's a in the battle for Lexi's heart, there's a new contender.
Dear Quinn, it seems that the battle for Lexi's heart has a new contender. What are your plans to deal with the dashing and charismatic stickholder? that question was not submitted by one of your fellow players on Nat19.
It sounded like you didn't get. It sounded like you didn't give me a choice to like go back on that.
I didn't.
Like, is that your final answer? I'm playing.
I was very confident. I was very confident.
Yes.
I pulled the trigger immediately. Did not allow you
I'll
back.
do it again.
You are each down to one guess. And we are on to the Is Boy final guess.
Okay. Last one.
There are still many options out there.
There are great many.
There are more than two.
Damn, yeah, none of them are really jumping out at like definitely one of our friends. They've hidden these well.
It's like they actually want to know things.
Preposterous.
Let's see.
They're always the dumb ones. I can tell.
Let's say. What about what if Quinn had drawn the ruin card?
That one is... Dear Quintus, you refuse to draw from the deck. How would Quintus' story have been affected if he'd drawn the ruin card like Flux? How do you imagine the world would change if Quinn ceased to be a noble and the hammer of Constantinian Winter ceased to be his inheritance? That question.
Shit, the hammer throws it off because I feel like the players would know that doesn't belong to Quintus anymore.
I thought for sure you were going to say the players could never properly spell Constantinian. There's no way.
Well, the big thing that I'm kind of iffy about with that one in particular is that any of them that mention the cards, I feel might not be them because it's been so long since the cards, you know?
It's possible. You never
But like,
know.
your guess is as good as anything I have, though.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna do that one. Yeah.
All right.
I hope that both of the ones I've told you not to do turn out to be true.
Right? I'll strangle the life out of you for costing me favor. Let's say... pressure.
Do you want to baseball?
Do you? How about... what if Lexi rejects Quintus?
Dear Quintus, what are your plans if Lexi rejects you? Will you cry and never love again? Will you realize that there are other wife candidates and move on like nothing happened? Something in between? That question?
Yes. I'll lock it in.
Alright, final answer. That question. Dear Quintus, what are your plans if Lexi rejects you? That question is your final guess, which has been fully locked in.
Yes.
Was not asked by one of your fellow players on Nat19. Oh.
I was gonna say, now you're being overly attentive to that.
Final guess for the round goes to Cody.
Chase, I got a big question.
I will not count it as one of the questions asked by the players on Nat19. Go ahead.
Thank you. We've postponed this for like a week or so, right?
About, perhaps.
Mayhaps. Were these given closer to today or closer to last week?
In the spirit of this being the final guess of this session, I will tell you I received all of them today.
Okay.
That
actually does clear things up a little bit.
I would not have told you this if it was your first guess.
Okay, let's go with if that's the case. Listen. Dear anyone who gives the best hugs in the highest standard.
Locking it in. Your final answer?
Locking it in.
There's that confess.
Dear anyone who gives the best hugs in the highest standard, as the final guess of this episode, was not asked by one of your fellow players on D&D.
Well.
The questions were, Dear Quintus, once you finish reading your book of Muscles, what is the next book you might want to read, or is there anything you want to research? By Hayden.
Oh.
Then, Dear Quinn, how does Quintus see his relationship with Lexi growing if Lexi does like him? Submitted by Bread, which you asked the opposite one, Izzy. You were so close. You had the spirit down. And then Izzy correctly guessed Dear Flux, which emotion are you most looking forward to figuring out, was submitted by Bread. Then we have Dear Quintus, Avi seems pretty mad. Any plans to calm them down? Are you going to take that beating like a true honorable knight? Submitted by Carrie. And then we have Dear Flux, you got to see Quintus get that shiny upgrade, becoming a paladin. You think you'd ever consider worshipping Harros? Want a multi-class into paladin, Flux? Also submitted by Carrie.
I thought that one might have been one. I didn't have the confidence.
Finally, we had Dear Flux, what is the most mundane thing you would possibly use Wish for? Submitted by Hayden.
Oh, yeah.
That son of a bitch didn't put any of them in!
Spencer.
I'm gonna destroy him next month. I'm gonna absolutely destroy him.
Oh, also, before I go to the closer, I want to ask you guys one last fun question I didn't get to ask because it'll be fast. Dear Flux and Quinn, could you both attempt the Vogan laugh?
Like as our characters, or like
Just you as a person. Feel free to try. Wonderful. I appreciate you both very much.
No problem.
And with that, we are going to wrap up this episode 13, Flux and Quintus of Chat19. Thank you all so very, 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 very much for submitting all of these questions. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you are, kiss. You did a wonderful job. Thank you guys for showing up and answering all these questions. I appreciate you both so much.
Appreciate you for being an excellent host.
Soups preach, both you boys.
Soups preach all round.
That means it's been a year and 1 month.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
What a time it's been. So good. With that, our next episode is going to be Vogan and Logan, episode 14.
Oh.
Good old Vlogan.
Good old Logan. So make sure to submit your questions to the sister episode of Chat19 in the questionnaire form below or on our Twitch stream. In the description of the Twitch stream, there's a link to it. Thank you all so very, very much. And Cody, where can people find you if they want to find you?
People can find me over on twitch.tv/summonersnetwork, or over in the same thing over on YouTube. And I also got the Twitter, which is oddly enough the same thing. So.
Very nice. Boy, where can people find you?
They can find us on YouTube at either Something Witty Entertainment or Something Witty Gaming for VODs of our streaming stuff. And you can find our streaming stuff live every Friday at 2 PM PST on our Twitch, also at Something Witty Gaming.
Heck yeah. I have been Chase, aka Coffin Jockey. You can find me on Twitter at Coffin Jockey or behind the back of the Denny's. You know which one. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next month for another episode of Chat19.
Woo! Bye, everybody! Bye!
I'm gonna destroy him.